Well, good morning, Gators. It is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. I cannot believe it's Thursday, and I cannot believe that it is the last day of April already. What we are going to do first for math today is go over the expectations. Remember, first, I do expect you guys to watch this video. If you're not watching this video, go back and watch this video to make sure that you are understanding of what to do for this math. Secondly, the second expectation is to try first. Do not reach out to your teacher first for help. We need to make sure that you are trying first. And then after that, we will gladly help you as much as we possibly can. So remember, first off, we're going to watch this video. And secondly, we are going to try it and then we'll ask for help. So let's switch over to my OneNote on the iPad and let's see what we're doing for our daily math practice first. So for the daily math practice, number one, we are adding those numbers there in the hundred thousands place. So make sure to line up your place values, add them, make sure you are carrying the proper numbers. Number two, we are doing a little bit of subtraction. And again, like on the first one, we want to make sure that we are lining up our place values. One tricky thing here on this 98.2 is that it does have the decimal, whereas the 36,000 has no decimal. So you need to think, what do I need to do there? On number three, we are going to write the algebraic expression for the following phrase. And it's really key that you listen and read what it says. It's saying that a number plus 8 minus 10. So again, we're writing the algebraic expression, which we're going to actually talk about in our math later. We are writing the algebraic expression for the following phrase. On number four, we are going to circle the equilateral triangle. Remember, equilateral meaning equal in all angles and all lengths of each side. And then number five, Miss Roberts has organized her class. Miss Roberts, is that your mom, Robert? I don't know. Anyway, Miss Roberts has organized her class into 4 teams. Each team has the same number of students. Boys make up 3/4 of each team, and there are 2 girls on each team. How many students in all are in the class? The second piece here is our daily word problem. It's saying that Badia has been saving money for an upcoming trip. She has earned a total of $181, made up of $20, $10, $5, and $1 bills. Badia has the same number of 10s as 1s. She has half as many 5s as 1s, and the number of 20s is 1 less than the number of 10s. How many of each bill does Badia have? So you're going to work this out over here, and then you are going to solve the question. Now, as I switch over to the PowerPoint for today, want to remind you guys all that, again, first thing here was to watch the video, and second was to what? Try first, and then please ask us for some help. So on to our math today. We are looking at a new topic. We are going to kind of shift things up because the last math that we've been doing, I can honestly see how it could be a little bit confusing for you guys. So I want to go ahead and shift it a little bit to something that you might be able to understand a little bit easier. So switching to the iPad, we are working on solving addition and subtraction equations. Our goal for today, or our objective, is that I can solve one-step equations involving addition or subtraction. And our essential understanding is that the properties of equality and inverse operations can be used to solve addition and subtraction equations. The solutions can be checked by substitution, and the value of an equation containing unknowns can be true or false depending on the replacement values of the unknowns. So what does that all mean? I'm going to tell you. So to start this all out, how can we use addition and subtraction to solve equations? So we're going to look at this problem here. It's saying that in January of 2005, there were 83 women in Congress. How many women were serving in the U.S. Senate? So we're going to need to use the information off to the right to be able to solve this. And as we are looking at this chart here, we are actually looking for this number right here. So how are we going to find that? Well, first off, since Congress includes the Senate plus the House, you can write an addition equation. An equation is a number sentence that uses an equal sign to show that two expressions have the same value. So again, an equation is the number sentence that uses an equal sign to show that two expressions have the same value. So in this one here, it is saying that 83, whoops, my bad, hit the wrong button there, I apologize. It is saying that 83 is x plus 69. So we have to figure out what plus 69 is equal to 83. And here is the equation that we are looking at right here. So what plus 69 is going to equal 83. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's keep looking here. One way to solve the equation is to get the variable alone. So what they did is they actually subtracted 69 from this side here, subtracted 69, and if you notice, they subtracted that 69 from both sides. Now, once you do that on one side, it will actually cancel it out, which is why we have the x on its own, and then we are left with 83 minus 69, which is 14. So there were 14 women serving in the U.S. Senate in January of 2005. Now, to do this, we're going to look at the addition property of equality first. And what that means is that you can add the same number to both sides of an equation and the sides remain equal. An example here is if we have 9 minus 4 equals 5, we could simply add 2 to each side and it would still be the same. So if we did that, 9 minus 4 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So therefore, because we added 2 on each side, it does still remain equal. Now, as we look at the next one, there we go. Subtraction property of equation is kind of saying the same thing, where you can subtract the same number from both sides of an equation and the sides will still remain, you guessed it, equal. So the example is 8 plus 6 equals 14, and if we were to minus 3 from each side, they would still be equal and remain balanced. So we have minus 3 on each side, and it would remain balanced. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. And 14 minus 3 is 11. So therefore, they are, again, both equal. Now, one thing we want to remember is that operations that undo each other are inverse operations. Addition and subtraction have an inverse relationship. Another way to think of inverse is to think of the opposite. So we want to make sure to think of the opposite there when we're thinking of inverse. Now, how do we know? It's saying in number 1 and 2, what would you do to get each variable by itself on one side of the equation? So in number 1, how are we going to get that x by itself? It's saying x minus 45 equals 90. Well, if I think here, if I know I'm looking at minus 45, what is the inverse of subtraction? Addition. So we're actually going to add 45 to each side, which we would just write, we would add 45. Now, to actually solve this, though, which is what we want to do, we would add 45 here. Now remember, we have a negative and a positive, so those are going to cancel each other out. And we are going to, if my iPad would chill iPad, we're going to add 45 again. And so x is going to equal 0 plus 5 is 5, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So x will equal 135. Now, as we look over here, we are doing the same type of problem. We have n plus 23.4 equals 36.9. So what problem are we doing here? We are adding, so we want to do the inverse of addition, which is subtraction. So we are actually going to subtract 23.4 from each side. Now remember, because we are doing the opposites, those are going to cancel out, and we want to make sure to subtract the 23.4 from that side, and we are going to be left with n. Whoops, that is not a very good m. I apologize, Miss Matthews. She'll make fun of me for that, I promise. And let's clear, there we go. And so we're going to subtract 23.4 again. And we're going to subtract the 23.4. Those cancel out. And we are going to have the n equals, and let's do the math here. 9 minus 4 is 5. Drop the decimal. 6 minus 3 is 3. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So n will equal 13.5. So that is it on the learning here. So what you are going to do in 3 through 6, you are going to use the inverse operations and a property of equality to solve these equations. So you're going to do more of the same what we did above. Make sure to use the opposites and actually make sure to show your work. And then on the other side here, you are doing some more practice of these. And I will tell you, my son Zane, he did complete these and get them right. So if he can do it, guys, I promise you, you can as well. And then we have 19 through 25 for you to complete as well. Now remember, these are incomplete, or sorry, because these are word problems, we do need to answer incomplete sentences and make sure that you are trying your absolute best. Well, that is it for the math today, guys. Again, first off, I hope that you will watch this video and truly pay attention to it and what it's asking you to do. Secondly, if you are not sure, be sure to be asking for help. And third, let's just try. Let's get it going. Do your best work, guys. I have the utmost faith in all of you. And as always, it is great to be a Gator. We'll see you tomorrow.